Hey guys, welcome back to my car. I'm getting ready to go to another library in my county to go to their book sale. Today is the first day of the sale, so I'm hoping to make out. I did really well at my last library's book sale, so fingers crossed I do as well here. I have quite a few books I have to return, so yeah, this should be a pretty good library trip. I also have a bunch of errands I have to run, like that grocery store. But I'm going treasure hunting for books. So I am going to head over there and I will show you guys what I get. Alright, I am done with the library. Had to go to the Goodwill to drop some stuff off. I went in there and looked at their books, but they didn't have anything that I wanted this time. Then I did my grocery shopping, and then I rewarded myself with a Java chip freeze at a little local coffee shop that I've never been to. I am really glad I went in there because this is delicious, and I will definitely be going back. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go home now, but I thought I would also let you guys know what I'm listening to because since I'm in the car, I've got a book on. So I just started Killing Floor by Lee Child. It's the first book in the Jack Reacher series. So far, I'm on chapter 3 and I'm liking it a lot. I have a ton of stuff from the library, stuff that I borrowed and stuff that I bought, so I think I will show you guys that when I get home. It is a beautiful day out today, so I'm going to try to sit outside and continue filming. So I will see you guys later. Okay guys, if you can't tell, it is not the same day that I went to the library. This is a few days later, and this is actually the third time I've attempted, or I have filmed, this part of the video, this haul. The first time I did it outside. I came home from the library, set everything up outside, went in, grabbed the books, got me a drink, and moved the camera around, filmed the whole thing, went to edit, and noticed that everything was green. And that's because while the camera was outside, the lens got covered with pollen. So I attempted to refilm it today. Again, I was sitting outside, made sure the lens was clean, and I don't know what I did to this camera, but I cannot seem to get the settings right on it. So I filmed the whole thing, go to edit it, and everything behind me, like the woods and out of doors, is white, like bright, blinding white, like I'm in the Antarctic. So if you guys know how to do camera settings, like if you understand cameras, this is a Canon G7X Mark II. If you know how to make it to where the outside does not look like the Antarctic, I would really appreciate that. So here I am inside because for whatever reason the lighting seems to work okay in here. I'm gonna go ahead, talk about these books that I picked up again, and hopefully make this shorter and sweeter than the last two times because I'm tired of talking. Okay, I'm going to start with some scary books. The first one I'm going to talk about I borrowed. I didn't buy this one at the sale, and that is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. This is the harrowing horror pick for the month from Cammie's Corner channel. She does the horror book club. I've actually read this book before, and I don't normally reread, but it's one of my all-time favorite ghost stories. If not my favorite ghost story, it definitely has my favorite haunted house setting. It's very atmospheric, very gothic, absolutely love it. So I'm totally going to reread this month. I saw this one sitting next to that one on the shelf at the library, and this is again from Susan Hill. It's called The Small Hand and Dolly. It's two novellas in one. I haven't read either of these, but I really do like Susan Hill's writing. I read The Man in the Portrait from her this October and loved it, so hopefully I will like these stories just as much. Next I grabbed We Have Always Lived in a Castle by Shirley Jackson. This is again another author I really do like. She wrote The Haunting of Hill House. one of those. And I have one of her short story collections, I think it's called Dark Tales, that I read this year and I really liked. But I've never read this one, so I am looking forward to trying this one out. I have heard great things. Continuing on my sci-fi adventure, because I'm definitely trying to branch out and broaden my horizons when it comes to reading things that I don't normally read. And as I am discovering more about sci-fi, I'm learning that there are so many types of sci-fi stories. Ones I will probably like more than others, but I'm trying to just try out a bunch of different things. So I picked up this one from Philip K. Dick. He wrote The Man in the High Castle and the story for Blade Runner, I believe. This one is called The Crack in Space, and this is a multiverse sci-fi story. Don't know anything about it. I've never heard of this one, but I just read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and that was a multiverse book. I find the idea of multiverse stuff kind of confusing. There were definitely parts in Dark Matter that I was like, what? I don't get it. But I definitely want to try out some more multiverse stories and see if it's less confusing. So yeah, there's that one. This next one is called A Scanner Darkly by the same author. This one was also made into a movie starring Keanu Reeves. I've never seen the movie, which is kind of surprising because he's one of my favorites. This one is a sci-fi novel that's, I think it's about like a mind-altering drug, from what I understand from the back. And there's lots of criminals and cops and things that happen between them. Don't know a whole lot about it, but it's short and I'm happy to try it out. I grabbed two from H.G. Wells. This one is called The Sleeper Awakes, and this one sounded so cool to me. This is about a man from Victorian London in like 1890 who falls asleep and wakes up 2 centuries later to discover he's basically been made the ruler of the world, and he has all of the pressures of that put upon him. I actually started this the day I came back from the library, but I only read a few pages because it was beautiful outside and the family came outside and started talking to me and the ducks came out and started quacking and I was distracted, so I didn't get far in this, but I'm hoping to finish it this month. I also got The Time Machine. I've seen the movie, haven't read the book, but this is one I'm gonna have my daughter, me and my daughter are going to read this together and watch the old classic movie. She just told me that she's never seen that movie, and I'm like, how am I failing you to where you've never seen that movie? Okay, I think this is my last sci-fi in this stack. And this one is called Screaming Science Fiction Horrors from Out of Space by Brian Lumley. This is a short story collection of what it sounds. It's sci-fi horror stories. I started reading this the other day. Absolutely love this. I think I've read 4 stories in it so far, and I've never heard of this author before, but this guy packs an amazing punch. Stories are very short, but also very well thought out and complete, and you don't feel like you're missing anything when it ends. They're thought-provoking and just very interesting, so I am definitely going to be finishing this book. It's another short one. I picked up a bunch of short science fiction books for this month, hoping to get through a lot of different kinds of things. And this cover is one of my favorite covers I've ever seen in my life, and I would love to have this on a poster. Switching things up a little bit, here's one that I actually bought at the book sale. I think this was $2. The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. It's a classic. I've seen the movie and loved it. I think this is the first book in the Jack Ryan series. I've seen most of the Jack Ryan movies and I love them all. He's a great character, and I love political intrigue type stuff and books and movies that have a lot of action, and so I'm pretty sure this should be pretty interesting to me. Also, it occurred to me I've never read anything from Tom Clancy, and I just recently found out that he was born and raised in Baltimore, and so was I. And I didn't know that. And I'm like, how did I not know this famous author came from the same place I did? So I just thought that was interesting. Moving on to a nonfiction read, I picked up Alfred Hitchcock by Peter Ackroyd. It's basically a biography of Alfred Hitchcock. I've seen a lot of his movies and I loved everything I've ever seen, but I don't know much about him himself. So I just thought this might be interesting. back to science fiction, another book that I bought at the book sale. This is The Ghost Brigades by John Scalzi. I don't know what this one is about, but I've heard a lot about John Scalzi through the years. I know he's a very popular sci-fi writer, so I picked this up thinking either I'll read it one day or my husband would like it. I don't know. I grabbed The Passage by Justin Cronin. I've heard of this book a lot lately because there's a TV show for it, but I don't think I've ever watched like a YouTube video where somebody's actually talking about the book. I've just seen it around a lot. The cat. But from what I read on the back, this seems like it's a apocalyptic kind of story, maybe some sci-fi in it. It's pretty big. I don't know if it's one I'm gonna like or not, so if you guys have read this book or you've watched the show, let me know if you think this is one I should read sooner rather than later. I do love apocalyptic stories. So yeah, some more nonfiction. This one is called Timekeepers by Simon Garfield. I've been kind of obsessed with the idea of time lately. I'm reading Ender's Game with my husband, and there is a character in the book that basically gets sent out to space and lives out there for like 50 years, but he only ages like 8 years. And so I was asking my husband about that, like, how does that even work? And he was saying that basically in outer space, time slows down. So anyway, we were having this big discussion about time. It was blowing my mind. I'm having a really hard time wrapping my brain around how time works and the idea of time. So I'm hoping this book will help my pea brain understand time better, because I'm finding it all very fascinating at the moment. And one more nonfiction book, and this is going to be the last one that I talk about. This is Quackery, A Brief History of the Worst Ways to Cure Everything by Lydia Kang, MD, and Nate Peterson. I've already started this book. I've been reading a couple chapters of this every day, and I love this book. I love this so much that I'm going to buy it and pay full price for it, which is something I rarely ever do, just so I can get my highlighter out and highlight the shit out of it. I think everything in this book is fascinating. Basically, it's broken down into chapters that are about different things that at one point in time were thought of as cures, and now we know that they basically were killing people, like mercury and arsenic. What the state of medicine has been from, you know, the dawn of time to now is just so fascinating. So yeah, I absolutely love this book. And if you're interested in the slightest in health, medicine, history, the stupidity of people, I totally recommend this. Even though I'm not finished it, I love it. So that is it. Thank God. Hopefully this looks okay when I go to edit. If not, I think I'm just gonna give up. One more thing before I go, I just wanted to ask you guys if you had any other recommendations for me for sci-fi, political thriller, conspiracy theories, outer space, anything like that. Basically anything that could make a good episode for X-Files. That's the kind of stuff I'm interested in right now. And of course horror. I'm always interested in horror, but I'm just trying to branch out a little bit and try things that I don't normally read. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.